This public lecture is one of the series of events used by the university to engage with issues affecting transformation in universities and in society today. The University of Zululand defines itself as a transformation-oriented university. We look at transformation from a contextual responsiveness to local, regional, national, and continental social justice and development needs. We do this by producing the required intellectual capital, which is graduates, professionals, leaders of society, civil society that promotes human rights and good citizenship, research and technology transfer, and societal intellectual engagement, and this is part of that intellectual engagement.
It's a pity that we do not have one of our students who just returned from the United States. These are students that we must actually celebrate. Students who know that theirs is to take advantage of the opportunities that we give. There are other students who, instead of managing their own studies, have misdirected themselves. They think their job is to manage the university, and while they are not able to manage their books. And what we are also going to say is that we would encourage those students to be like these students in the Anadiso who just returned. And he returned from the US after participating in a competition about writing an essay. And he's one of the only three. And we're pleased as UniZulu that we could be counted among those who are able to fashion and to develop our students.
Are we failing to produce people who are able to run institutions properly? Or are we failing to produce political scientists who become political leaders who can then run the country properly? Because we have to admit, most of the people who are running our country today are products of our universities. And then what does it say then about this product of ours? So clearly there's a lot of work which has to be done in our country to address these issues. Then I want to refer you to what Professor Thipanyane said recently about the problems in universities. He says basically that in his article entitled, "What is Killing Our Universities?" that our universities are really, really characterized by poor or ineffectual leadership, breakdown of governance, maladministration, corruption, that have severely undermined the role of universities as institutions. And this is what he says. These universities are where leaders are molded, where societal values are shaped, and knowledge advanced. Let me repeat again. These institutions are where leaders are molded, where societal values are shaped, and knowledge is advanced. So when we see our students behaving the way they do, are those the kind of leaders which we are producing? When we see our societal values going down the tube, students killing each other, high gender-based violence, corruption. So ultimately what Professor Thipanyane is saying, that universities are the primary institution in this country which produces leaders, which shapes our values and advanced knowledge. So what knowledge are we advancing? Which now brings ESCOM and SAA to the ground. What values are we providing when there's so much chaos? Look at the mess in Parliament. It was such an embarrassment watching these MPs behaving like clowns. And you ask yourself, wow, how are our children watching this saying? But now most of those comrades in Parliament are graduates. So we must ask the Vice Chancellors one day to account. If these are your products, there will certainly be no rest, no peace, until our institutions of higher learning play their meaningful role in advancing social justice and in contributing towards the transformation of our societies and all these key institutions into the South Africa we want. A South Africa where there will be dignity for all our people. A South Africa where our people will be free from hunger, poverty and violence, and all enjoying free and quality education and a South Africa where people, and women in particular, will play a meaningful role in the economic, social, and political affairs of our country without fear of violence and harassment. The whirlwinds of revolt and protest will continue to shake up our country and all institutions until we attain the South Africa we want, and the South Africa many of our people sacrifice their lives for. So, to a large extent, I'm going to be very controversial. Much of our problems in this country today are a result of the inadequate role we are playing as institutions of higher learning. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Advocate Thipanyane, another round of applause, please. We've got about 10 minutes to take questions.
Advocate Thipanyane, when you said university were created in order to serve the interest of the colonialist. So I want to ask the question to Advocate Thipanyane on what must be done, or what are the avenues that must be put into effect in order to change or shift that position, in order to make sure that education now empowers the Africans. And also in respect of the new generation that is rising, when he said sometimes they want to enrich themselves, what must be done in order to make sure that now the new generation take it into consideration that they must also look in what is happening in our society and make sure that they empower the society and also develop the society. Thank you.
Most of us, when we are young, at the moment you get the degree, you feel you are more superior than someone who has got a degree. Now, a degree is not knowledge, but it has been made the sum total of knowledge. I can go to a village, I can assure you, I can find better politicians, better lawyers, best psychologists, best everything. They don't have degrees, because knowledge is about how you relate to your society and advance your society.
Every time when things are not going well, we tend to blame economists. I want to make it clear that economists are not the ones who are making decisions. The decisions are made by politicians. Most of them, they don't even have economics, they don't really understand what is going on. So economists really, if we give them an opportunity to explain everything and to run the country, it will go on in a very good way.
What I was simply trying to make is that, what kind of an economist do we produce as a university who will ensure that make a meaningful contribution in the economy, minus everything else. But my main point I really want to make is that I think to a large extent academics have allowed themselves to be marginalized, and like economists, and they put politicians there. We are all part of society. We all have a responsibility to fight for societies from different angles. So we can't just leave things to politicians and say, well, they've caused the math. Because in the essence of education, as I was saying, is a problem.
What we're saying to our students, we'll use these platforms, we'll engage intelligently. Activism does not mean you abandon. And as we said, for every student who is here, there are 10 more students who want to be here. But unfortunately, universities cannot accommodate all. So we need to that's why the question of the fourth industrial revolution is very important. How do we make sure that the technologies that come make it possible to increase access so that the notion of exclusion, but what cannot be right, that cannot be defended, is when you are given an opportunity that you overstay your welcome. Because when you do that, you prevent others from benefiting from being in a university. There is nothing heroic about that. So I wanted to say that. So freedom comes with responsibility.